Welcome to On the Road with me, Jeff Marek, in beautiful Muskoka, Ontario. Join me alongside notable guests from the hockey world as we discuss and dissect the best and wildest stories from hockey travel, road trips, favorite cities, and pit stops along the way. And oh yeah, of course, the best untold roommate stories as well. Hey there, it's Jeff Marek, and welcome to Muskoka. This is On the Road, Cottage Conversations with Hockey People. And here in Muskoka, when it comes to hockey, the best person to talk to, Sam Gagner. Now, when I say the name Sam Gagner, you might remember, and probably do, the 8-point night against the Chicago Blackhawks. Maybe you remember he was a 6th overall draft pick of the Edmonton Oilers. Maybe you remember he played for the Oilers 3 different times. Junior hockey fans, yeah, you'll probably remember Sam Gagner as part of an elite level line with the London Knights alongside Patrick Kane. But now, here in Muskoka, even though technically he's not the mayor, when it comes to hockey and hockey royalty up here, he is very much the mayor of Muskoka. And you're going to find out why in a couple of moments. And over the entire series, you're going to hear a lot of people talking about Sam Gagner and Muskoka hockey. So let's hear from the man himself, the mayor himself, Sam Gagner, on the road here in Muskoka. Good to see you again. You're good? See you too. I'm great. Yeah. Congrats on the other one. Hockey's hard. I remember talking to Matt Nickel about this legendary strength and conditioning coach. And he said the first thing I do with the guys when they're done is like, you just need to heal your body for like at least a month. You need to go and escape. Like, what was that like for you? What would you do? Where would you go? And maybe it's up here. Yeah. What would Sam Gagner do?
Yeah, up here was a big one for me. You know, I think it is hard, you know, physically, mentally. It's, you know, there's a lot of stress that comes with playing at the NHL level and trying to be at your best every night and every day for that matter. I mean, practices are very important and, you know, you have to perform every day. So it is stressful. I think that was a big reason why I started up here is so I could train, skate, get all that, but also, you know, be able to enjoy my afternoons and, you know, just be at home, be a dad. So yeah, it's been great in that sense.
What are the kids like about being up here?
Well, I can keep going. I mean, I tell my kids I'm jealous of them because I wish that I could spend my whole summer up here when I was a kid. It's they come to the rink with me in the morning. They're on the ice. They're in our camps playing games there, and then, you know, in the afternoon they're either on the lake or they're golf, tennis, whatever, and then in the evenings we're playing cards or having dinner as a family. You know, it's really just the best life being up here. You know, it's we get such great family time that I wouldn't trade it for anything.
Can I ask you about Muskoka hockey a little bit more? Because as I understand it, this goes back 2020, maybe even before then. Was that the beginning of Muskoka hockey?
Yeah, so there was a small group of us that used to spend some time up here. There was a group of us Toronto guys that I had a cottage here and I would invite up for, you know, a week or so to do a camp. And it was one of those things, it was always hard to get ice because nowhere up here kept ice in. So I'd kind of have to beg the township to put ice in early.
So how'd you get it?
It's
just like
them.
begging politicians.
Exactly. And then like, what we ended up agreeing on was that I would book out like 8 hours a day, and in order to cover their costs.
Of course, keep the ice in.
Exactly. So we would do it like a week early. it would cost a bit. But, we just had such a great time doing it. We would train and skate and then be on the lake the rest of the day. And, I just found like it created so much more balance in my life. The going from a hard, stressful season to your summer training where you're living in Toronto and you're, doing everything, working out, skating, treatment, trying to get proper nutrition, all of it. I just found it really hard. And then, coming up here on weekends, battling through the traffic to get up, I was like, something needs to be created that we're just up there all summer. And then if you want to go back to the city, you have that opportunity to do that too. But myself, Eric at Branson, John Tavares, Taylor Hall, Bo Horvat, kind of joined in after. We were the guys that kind of bought up here and we're like, let's do this. And then we ran a camp through, my dad is an agent at Wasserman. So we ran a camp where Will Cooley and Jamie Draisaitl and a few of the other kids came up, and it was great. And then it kind of evolved from that to, we got day camps and training for younger kids now. It seems like, we've kind of added something every year, but my summers I think are so much better now that I get to spend my time up here. I'm around my kids all the time. They're in the camps. In the afternoons we're on the lake, we're playing cards, we're spending time as a family that I didn't feel like I was getting enough of in the city.
Sure.
It's been awesome. So
it's kind of a magnet too, right? Like for other players, whether they be pro or junior or Division I or U13 or U11 or whatever. Like, you find a lot of people now, this has kind of become a camp where kids are now gravitating to. Your pro skate is all well known. And
yeah, for sure. It's growing. I think, if you spent any time up here, you understand the appeal of it. Like, it's an incredible way to spend your summer. And, I look at it from my kids' perspective. They never ask for an iPad. They never ask to, watch TV. They're just busy being outside doing things all the time. And I feel the same way as an adult. Like, it's a great way to live. From the camps to the pro stuff, I think, we've gotten a great response. Everybody loves it. It's been a lot of fun. And I think it'll continue to build.
Sam, when I think about hockey players making the transition from playing to their second career, someone asked me about this the other day about like Sam Gagner making the transition from playing to now player development with the Ottawa Senators, Muskoka Hockey. It's kind of like an Olympic diver into the pool, like no ripple in the water. Like, has this been as seamless for you as it has seemed to all of us?
Yeah. I mean, part of me still loves playing, like would still love to do that. I think I just got to a point with my family life and my kids, and I just wanted an opportunity to get them settled in one place. And it worked out really well for me that, I had been building Muskoka Hockey as I was playing. I finished last year playing in Belleville and kind of had, a conversation with Steve Staios about doing some with Ottawa. And it just kind of it worked out really well. I'm enjoying doing what I'm doing, and it's been great.
Player development.
Yeah.
Ottawa Senators. Another new adventure for Sam Gagner. Why this role?
I think it stems from, me having to reinvent my game, find different elements. I started working with Adam Oates right before I went to Columbus, and he was so helpful to me. I learned so much about like just different details of the game, intricacies that really helped me. The year I had in Columbus, I remember I got scratched in the third game of the year, and I was all down. I just signed there for league minimum. I was sent down the year before. I think maybe this is it. And we talked about being in a different position on the power play. And then the game I got put back in, I'm in the bumper on the power play, and I score 2 goals, and my year took off. And it's just little things like that. And then every summer we would add different layers, and I started to think about it on my own. And then when I started Muskoka Hockey and I'm on the ice with guys, I'm in my gear, but I'm also running practice.
Right.
And so I had to think about it in a different way. Now that I'm running these skates, I'm in development. This has been a 10-year process of me thinking about development in a different way.
Yeah.
So I really enjoy it. I enjoy, even the last few years of my career, if young guys wanted to work on things, I was trying to help them. I enjoy guys getting better, and I enjoy seeing it translate into a game. So yeah, I think it's a great fit for me.
Let me ask you about your dad a little bit. Dave Gagner, legendary NHLer, as you mentioned, now an agent with Wasserman. Where I live, my local hockey association, for the U18 program, when kids age out, I usually go and I do a little speech, and I always say the same thing. I get the kids to stand up, and I say, now look at your dad. And I always say to them, understand one thing about your father. This is the only man you are going to meet in your entire life who wants you to be better than him. Mm-hmm. That must have been like a big source of pride for your dad as well, when he saw you hit 1,000.
Yeah, and it hits even harder now that I have kids of my own.
Bingo.
It's just you want the world for your kids, right? You want what's best for your kids. I know how much my dad put into, helping me become the best player I wanted to be. And, it's funny towards the end, I was playing in Belleville last year and we'd have conversations and he's like, why do you still want to do this? And I'm like, well, it's your fault. Like, you're the reason that I am as passionate about the game as I am. Like, I came home as a kid from hockey and we watched hockey and we talked about hockey and that's all we ever talked about. And I felt like before I even made the NHL, I had a master's in hockey because of how much I talked about it with my dad and how smart of a hockey man he is. So, it was, all of it was, I look back on my career and it's just so grateful for that.
What are the second generation advantages that players have? We talk so much about, Sam Gagner, son of the great Dave Gagner. And even it's like little things about like understanding when you get off the bus who checks in the hotel room first and all the different like little protocols. Like, what kind of advantages do second generation players have?
Well, I think, just growing up, whenever I had a question about something hockey oriented, he had the answer for it.
Yep.
And he was able to help me through so many things. And then when I look back at when I first entered the NHL, how to treat your body, how to recover between games, how to deal with the ups and downs and the stresses of it. He went through it. He lived it. Early on in his career, he had a tough time gaining traction. And he had to go through that mental, battle of the ups and downs of it. And so, I'm able to lean on him and I think it's so helpful. And then, just as a kid, it's like when you're talking about hockey all the time with somebody who really understands it, I think a big part of what made me successful at the NHL level was the way I thought the game. And the way I thought the game was because of how much we talked about it. And I was able to talk to him and then apply it on the ice and learn from it. And it's just, I think that's a huge benefit, right?
So here's why I think about your dad every single day in the winter. So when I moved up to where I live now, just about an hour north of Toronto, my wife and I bought a farm property, big backyard, and I was talking to your dad, and he said, "You gonna do a rink in the backyard?" I said, "Yeah, we're gonna do a rink." Well, we've done one before. I want to keep the tradition up. He goes, "Okay, I'm gonna send you something." And maybe a week later, you know what's coming. I get a rink rake.
Yeah.
He said, "This is the most important thing you'll need. You'll need a steel shovel and you'll need one of these."
Yeah.
He'll thank me.
Yeah.
And every time I'm out there, I'll come home from work, midnight, just hearing coyotes, no neighbors, nothing, just out there with the rink rake, nice and calm. It's like one of the best gifts anyone's ever given me. And I'm like, "Oh yeah, thanks Dave, that's great."
Yeah.
Tell us about your backyard rink.
I mean, it was the best thing ever. I mean, you talk rink rake, we had that at first, and then we got a John Deere tractor with an attachment on the back that turned into
That's
a
the
Zamboni.
difference between the Gagners and the Mareks.
Right? So, I'm 12, 13 years old, and I'm Zamboni in the rink by myself with the John Deere tractor. And
that's awesome.
And then, you know, I just had constantly friends coming over to play, and like on a Saturday night in high school when other kids are at parties, we're playing on the backyard rink. It was just...
Give us the names. Who's been on that rink?
John Tavares, we played one-on-one all the time together because he lived 5 minutes away. So his mom would come drop him off. We'd play one-on-one for 3 hours. And then Brennan Smith, Cody Golubeff, Brian Cameron, like...
These are all your Marlies guys.
Yeah, all of our Marlies guys. And then since we sold... I think there was another generation of kids that came up using that rink. And when we were just looking to buy a house and settle somewhere, and we were looking in Toronto, and I was telling my wife, I'm like, the prerequisite is that there's a backyard big enough that I can put a rink in. So we're doing it too, because I just look back at the memories we created out there. It just, you can't beat it.
Hey, it's Jeff Marek here. I really hope you've been enjoying this episode so far. You know, my family and I were just on vacation in Cancun, Mexico. And as a hockey media personality and show host, it can be tough to get away during the hockey season. Plus, my kids play competitive sports, so it's always special to block off a week for uninterrupted family time. We enjoyed the ocean, the sunshine, and of course the palm trees. Who doesn't like palm trees? And truth be told, I've always wanted to see a mariachi band play live, and I'm thrilled to report we were able to do that. Huge smile on my face. Plus, I've enjoyed the best guacamole I ever had. Man, was it ever good, and did my sons a solid favor by caddying for them for 2 full days of golf. It was awesome. While we were there, on the way down, I thought to myself, wait a minute. When we're down here enjoying the sun and the ocean waves, we could be hosting our home on Airbnb while we're away. Why not, right? If you think about it, while you're away with friends and or family, enjoying the beach or the slopes or the cottage or wherever you go, you could be earning some extra cash while you're away. Your home might be worth more than you think. Find out how much at airbnb.ca/host. All right, a couple of things from your career. February 2nd, 2012. I remember watching that game, Oilers versus Chicago Blackhawks. Yeah. And can I be blunt about something? Mm-hmm. You guys were awful in that at the beginning. Hawks go up 2 Cobb early, and I'm like, oh man, Oilers look awful. Yeah. And then the second period starts, and it's a different team. I'm watching like the 1977 Montreal Canadiens all of a sudden. Yeah. And you get 8 points in the process. I want to ask you about the aftermath, but first, like, what happened in between the first and second?
I don't know. I mean, I know that they changed the lines up. I can't remember who I started with, but then I remember the dressing room after the first and being like really unhappy with myself, how I was playing. Yeah. I'm like, I got so much better than this. And then they put me with Taylor Hall and Jordan Eberle for the second period, and I was like, okay, it's an opportunity. Our 2 best wingers.
The puck doesn't have corners anymore. Exactly. Now it's round again. Yeah, okay, good.
So 2 best wingers on our team. It's a great opportunity. Let's run with it, and just kind of took off, you know. And then once you get a couple points and you start to feel better about yourself, everyone talks about, the goal legs. Like once you score, it's like, everything feels lighter, right? And it just kind of went from there.
At what point did you know that you were doing something special? I mean, 8 points,
man.
Like that's Mario Lemieux territory.
Yeah. It wasn't until the third. I mean, I had 3 points after the second and had 5 in the third. So, it was early in the third. I think I had another couple points, and I was like, okay, it feels like everything I touch is turning into something. And, people talk about flow state, and I really felt it that night. I'm like, one of the goals, I want to say it was the 8th point. I made a play up the ice, and normally I would be in a rush, and I just sauntered my way up the ice, and Jordan and Taylor did their thing, and I found Jordan backdoor, and I get another point. It was like I didn't even break a sweat coming out. It was one of those nights that just I was in a in a flow state where everything I touched went in, and it just, felt great.
Okay, give me a couple of players that you really either admired or admire now. Give me a couple of guys that Sam Gagner looks at and goes, yeah, that guy's good.
Well, I mean, Connor and Leon, haven't played with them. Like, obviously.
Yeah, it was a pretty good choice.
Pretty good players. I think Connor does things that I don't think anyone has ever seen before. So it's hard for me to look at him and go, how does he do that? Like, I don't think anybody knows. Like, he's just at such a different level. Leon, he's probably the best in the game at, picking a puck off the wall and finding a lane that you didn't think was there.
Yeah. So
I love watching him because I'm like, those are areas that I think can be taught a little bit more, Yep. Like, he does them at such a level that, you can never teach it to his level. Yeah. But I think I can study his game a little bit better. You know what I mean? Like, and then obviously, I mean, I never got a chance to play with him, but I trained with him a bit in the summer, with Sid. Like, there's a reason that he has so much respect in our game among the players. He just does everything the right way, like, and just such a great person. Like, when I played in the Spengler Cup this year and I got named captain, like, he texted me and said congratulations. And that's not something that he has to do. Like, he's just that type of person. And then when you see the level he's played at his whole career and he continues to do it, it's just really impressive.
I've always maintained there's a special place in heaven for two people in hockey moms and hockey wives. Tell us about your wife, who's a very accomplished doctor herself, who's had to make like a lot of sacrifices traveling.
Absolutely. I mean, we got engaged when she was in her residency at University of Alberta in Edmonton, and then a week before our wedding, I got traded for the first time. She was probably thinking like, yeah, we're going to be at Edmonton forever. I'm an Edmonton girl. And then I got traded to Arizona a week before our wedding, and I felt like I was in a new place every year. And then, juggling her career, and then we started to have kids. We have 3 kids now, and it was just busy. And then every year it was like, okay, where are we moving to now? And we got to get our kids in school, and then you have to deal with me, in training camp, and what line am I on, and how much am I going to play, and me complaining about the stresses of an NHL season, and she just dealt with it and handled it. And I'm so thankful to her for how much she was supportive of me throughout. Even this year, we're living in Toronto. I just finished the Spengler Cup, and I'm like, I want to keep playing. And she's like, let's do it. Like, I'm like, go to Belleville. I have it handled. And if I wanted to play next year, she would have said the same thing. Like, it's really special to have somebody that will support you like that through all the ups and downs. So, to sacrifice her career. I mean, she's
a doctor.
She's a doctor. Yeah, she's a doctor, a family doctor, and she's still been able to work online, which has been great. But it's still it's been a sacrifice for her. So having to move around and focus on the kids and how that all operates. It's been great.
There might not be an answer to this, and some players might just say, I don't care what people think. What do you want people to think about Sam Gagner when they look back at the Oilers, the Wings, the Flyers, the Jackets, the Canucks, etc., the Coyotes?
I would hope that my teammates know that I cared for them as people. I wanted to see my teammates succeed. Being a great teammate was of the utmost importance to me. It's sometimes can be a struggle because you're focused on your own career, right? And wanting to succeed. But I always felt like, I had such a great relationship with all my teammates. That to me is the most important part of playing hockey, is the relationships you build along the way. And, I'm still so close with so many ex-teammates and go on vacations with them, and our wives are close. So it's something I do take pride in. I did take pride in when I played, as being a good teammate and being a good friend. So yeah, I mean, ultimately, like, that's what when you ask what you hope people think of my career, it's more my friends and family that's the most important. And I just want them to always know that, I care for them and I have their back, and if there's anything they need, that I'm there. So
This has been great. Continued success with the camp.
Yeah.
And best of luck with the Sens.
Awesome. Thanks so much.
Thanks so much,
Yeah.
Sam.
Yeah.